Realme has come a long way in a short time. Its portfolio has expanded from smartphones to televisions, audio products, wearables, and even personal care products. And earlier this year, the company launched its first laptop. The Realme Book Slim is obviously positioned as an ultra-portable, and just like most of its other offerings, Realme has chosen to focus on one or two primary features in order to tempt potential buyers. So should the Realme Book Slim be your next laptop? We're about to find out. The starting price for the Realme Book Slim in India is 46,999 rupees. This gets you an 11th Gen Intel Core i3 CPU and 256GB SSD. If you want to step up, there's another option with a Core i5 CPU and 512GB SSD priced at 59,999 rupees. While the former only has 2 cores and features the older Intel UHD integrated GPU, the latter has 4 cores and benefits from Intel's newer Iris Xe graphics. There are also a few other subtle differences between the two variants. For example, while both of them feature 8GB of soldered LPDDR4X RAM, the speeds are different. Realme has also shared different performance targets for the NVMe SSDs in both variants. Furthermore, only the higher-priced Core i5 based variant has a Thunderbolt 4 port and Wi-Fi 6, while the entry-level Core i3 variant has standard USB Type-C ports and Wi-Fi 5. You also have a choice between real blue and real grey body colors. The Realme Book Slim is made entirely of aluminum. The real blue unit I received for this review looks quite striking. As its name suggests, this laptop is 15.5mm thick at its thickest point and weighs 1.38 kg. It isn't the most compact 14-inch laptop around, but it fits well within the ultra-portable segment. You can't easily raise the lid with one finger, but the hinge does feel solid and the screen can be pushed back to a little less than 180 degrees. The side borders are quite narrow and there's only just enough space at the top for a webcam. The main attraction for the Realme Book Slim is its display. It's an unusual panel, especially at this price level, with a 3:2 aspect ratio and a pretty high resolution of 2160 by 1440 pixels. The company claims 100% sRGB color gamut coverage and 330 nits typical brightness. Videos look pretty good and I didn't mind the letterboxing because there's still enough screen space. It's well worth the trade-off when it comes to getting work done. Realme has gone with a glossy panel which is fairly reflective, especially under overhead lighting, and I had to bump up the brightness to work comfortably sometimes. Colors look fairly natural and everything is crisp, but this panel isn't especially vivid. There's enough room on the lower deck for a large keyboard and trackpad. In terms of keyboard layout, Realme has done well enough. There aren't any dedicated paging keys and the arrow key cluster is cramped but usable. The keyboard has a crisp action and travel is reasonable for an ultra-slim laptop. I found it fairly easy to type on for long stretches and accuracy wasn't a problem. White backlighting is good to have, but there are only 2 brightness levels. The power button in the upper right corner has an integrated fingerprint sensor. The trackpad is large but doesn't get in the way. The webcam has a 720p resolution. You get a 54 Wh battery and 65 Watt fast charging support. Realme ships a relatively compact 65 Watt USB PD charger in the box, which is also capable of 30 Watt dash charging if you use it with a compatible phone. Realme sent us the lower end version of this laptop with a weaker 11th Gen Core i3 CPU for this review. Despite having only 2 cores plus hyper-threading, performance was actually quite snappy. I managed to get my work done with a dozen or more browser tabs open, some of which were fairly heavy web-based apps. I did notice the upper middle of the keyboard get a bit warm when anything even slightly stressful was running. Under heavy load, the metal above the keyboard gets quite hot, but thankfully the wrist rest areas stay cool. Also, I could feel the whole body vibrating when the fans were spinning. You shouldn't expect to play modern games. Even older titles such as Rise of the Tomb Raider and Far Cry 5 only deliver 21 FPS and 25 FPS at very modest settings and running at a low resolution. I was able to get between 6 and 8 hours of ordinary use, including a little video streaming, before this laptop needed to be plugged in. I was able to charge the Realme Book Slim to about 30% in half an hour when it wasn't being used, and it took almost 2 hours to fill completely when it was running. Realme clearly has the current gen MacBook Air in its sights, and the Realme Book Slim comes in at a much lower price, but it has a lot of the same appeal. It's highly portable and has a crisp, high-resolution screen, which is something you don't usually see in this segment. Battery life is good, and even the seemingly modest specifications of the lower priced variant should be enough for most students, office workers, and home users. The usage experience lacks a little polish, and Realme could have done a better job with the keyboard, the port selection, and the cooling mechanism. Potential buyers should also read the fine print very carefully so they know exactly what they're getting with each variant. Overall, it all comes down to price though, and Realme has done a good enough job that potential buyers will likely trust it when it comes to considering such a large purchase. That was our review of the Realme Book Slim. Thanks for watching, and for more detail do visit us at gadgets360.com.